tell us about because you, as we've been kind of holding up and showing, you also sell a lot of these, right?
Yep.
And you now you make all these yourself, right? Like you're
Yes.
not some kind of, you're not just putting your label on something you're ordering, right? You craft every drop of liquid in these tinctures, right?
Not only do I craft it, I take all these myself.
Yeah. Okay.
So yes, absolutely.
Is that why your beard's so thick? Is that because you've been taking the testosterone booster formula? Is that what does that for you?
Well, it really works, my friend. It's amazing the results you get from the testosterone boosting tincture. And I've got a couple of photos on my website, not to be hubris, but I want people to see, yes, these are the results you get from taking these products. I
I'm
want people,
curious, where are those photos at?
if you go to that Superior Manpower tincture and click on all the products,
Okay, let's see.
the
Okay, so
Superior Manpower,
that's deer antler, superior immune. Oh, here
or,
we
or
go.
the deer antler, or the vascular cleanse.
Holy smokes, that's you.
Yeah, that's me. So I want people to know, yes, you're going to get great results with these products. I'm not only the guy who makes it, but here's the evidence. Here's the proof in the pudding.
Wow. And I imagine you don't just sit around and look like this, and you got to be active, right?
Yeah.
But still, I mean, that's, and you're not 25 years old. Like it's hard to have a physique like that.
Yeah. So, well, any man can do this. It's just understanding, again, how do we feed our bodies? If we look at like a car, for example, a car needs maintenance. So our body needs maintenance. So how can we eat the right foods, give it the right fuel? How do we maintain the body so we don't run into issues? So, for example, on my prostate tea and tincture kit, as men, we don't want to lose our drive. We don't want to lose our vigor. We don't want to lose our strength. We don't want to lose our ability to be intimate with our spouse. We don't want to lack flow issues. We don't want to be up all night peeing. So I created developed this powerful prostate tea and tincture kit. And basically, you do it for a couple of weeks, and you're going to notice a difference. Every man who turns 40 this year, or is 40 and over, I
Actually, I
suggest
turned
doing
40
this.
this year, funny enough.
Yeah, well, then this is the year, brother, because you want to prevent things from happening. You don't want to be in a situation like I was, and or worse, for that matter. So every man who's over 40 or turning 40 this year, I recommend doing this once a year. Now, if you have issues currently, what ED, flow issues, up all night peeing, these other things I mentioned, then I would encourage you to do it back to back, and you can do it 2 to 4 times a year.
Amazing, amazing. So walk us through some of the other things. And also, I know we have a
Okay,
promo code for you. People get 10% off, right? It's Man in America 10. Is that correct? Is our
that's
coupon?
correct.
And I'll make sure that's in the description below with the link. But just walk us through it. And just, like, I love having the opportunity to have people like yourself on the show, because this right here, this is the parallel economy, right? This is, so instead of going to Walgreens or CVS or even Whole Foods, where you actually don't know what you're getting with a lot of the products there, there's a lot of deception that's happening even in a place like Whole Foods. It's like the same way, we drink raw milk, and the milk farm we get our milk from is 4 minutes away. I know the family that runs it. I see the cows out grazing on these beautiful pastures, and that's what we feed our family. And so, and the thing is I've talked to them too, and I've said, hey, what do you do about lockdowns, and what they start coming after raw milk, and they're like, we won't comply, right? And that's the thing, is that's what we need, and that's also a big part of what we have with the ARC. And I want to make sure that we're able to list businesses on the ARC. So I want to make sure that we get your business listed on the ARC, because that way people can know that, hey, you're someone that that aligns with these values, and that you're not going to be someone that was just going to fold and give in to the government mandates and whatever it is. And so anyway, I feel so honored to be able to have people like yourself and show what you're creating with your hands and your wisdom and your experience and your faith that's being poured into these products. And I really just appreciate that. I really, really do.
Well, we're thankful for that opportunity. And just to go over a few other products here real quick, the Superior Manpower testosterone boosting tincture. Now that has two amino acids in it, L-arginine and L-citrulline, and you need the ratio of 5 grams of arginine to 1 gram of citrulline, and that's a precursor to convert to nitric oxide, where it opens up the arteries to get the blood to flow. So it's a natural Viagra. And then the other herbs in that product are all testosterone boosting herbs, the deer antler velvet, the tribulus, the long jack, and the fenugreek. So they all work synergistically to boost our testosterone. And you will notice a difference. For example, I work out 5, maybe 6 days a week, but I'll do on like a Saturday, for example, and I thank God that he's given me the strength to do this, but I can do 1,000 push-ups. And that's taking time to build up to that using decks of cards, but it's possible to really get yourself into that shape. And I attribute a lot of it to this formula because all the energy I get. So this is a wonderful formula.
Which I'll put a note on there for the lady listeners. This will be a great gift for your husband or significant other.
Absolutely. I get a lot of women who buy the prostate tea and tincture and the superior manpower tincture for their husbands, but we're going to go over deer antler velvet, how that benefits the women here shortly, because I have something special for them. So stay tuned, ladies. We're going to go over that real quick. But I wanted to mention on arginine very quickly on my blog on ourfathersherbs.com. Now there's over 100,000 articles, scientific articles on arginine itself, but I put one up there from PubMed, and it talks about how nitric oxide gets the blood to flow through the body. And then it goes over, it's a vasodilator, it's a neurotransmitter. It regulates nutrients and metabolism in the body. It's a killer of bacteria, fungi, parasites, viruses, including coronavirus 1 and 2. Interestingly enough, they didn't offer this solution to us, right?
Of course.
So you're going to find that there's immune building properties within this formula also. The next one I want to go over is my brain tincture. Now we're fighting a battle for our minds, right? And how can we protect our minds? We don't want to get Alzheimer's. We want to have a sound mind. We don't want to have dementia. So in this formula, my brain formula, I have herbs that boost the memory, which would be ginkgo and gotu kola. And then I also have herbs that prevent the loss of acetylcholine, which ginkgo is one of them, and rosemary and sage. One of the common denominators with people that have Alzheimer's is they have heavy metals in the body, like we talked about, but they're also lacking acetylcholine. And so how do we prevent the loss of acetylcholine? Well, we do that with these type of herbs. But the beautiful thing is we can actually, over time, become smarter if we eat foods that have choline in them. Foods that are rich in choline convert to acetylcholine in the body. For example, like eggs, beef liver. Cilantro is loaded with choline, but it also is a chelator of heavy metals, so you get a 2-for-1 there. Now, acetylcholine is a neurotransmitter that acts as a chemical messenger in the body, and essentially it regulates the voluntary muscles in our body. It's also for our memory, learning, attention, and arousal. So again, we don't want to lose our ability to be intimate with our spouse. So there's just another benefit from eating foods rich in acetylcholine. Then we have our digestive tonic.
Actually, I want to say something real quick. Just to you mentioned arousal, right? And obviously, testosterone, libido, and these are things that I think that again, as the modern world has completely tainted and inversed what God has given us, they've turned sex and the sex drive into this just disgusting thing that is, about how many partners you've had, and all the whole thing is just a complete mess. But actually, it's healthy, right? Because that is the fundamental driver of procreation, right? Is that energy and that libido that, and I know even with my wife, we're very happily married. We have 2 children together, and hopefully we can have a third one. She's in her mid 40s. And so we're just kind of saying, hey, you know what, if that's what God wants, and that's going to happen. But I can tell you that when you are in this loving relationship and with a happy marriage, that you have this urge to actually just create more children. Right. You really, you can feel it. You're just like, I want to bring more lives into this world. And it's this beautiful beautiful act of kind of, I look at it as kind of co-creation with God, right? That's what it is. And so, but I think there's been such a deliberate attack on testosterone, on estrogen, on all these hormones, obviously because they can sell us the Viagra, they can sell us the drugs that are going to fix these things for us. But also I think that it's been part of just inversing the gender roles and getting women into the workplace, removing the motherly feminine instinct to want to raise and protect children. So that way women are, comfortable putting their kids in daycare from a young age. But also it's really been removing and lowering the testosterone of men. We now know that even wearing synthetic petroleum-based boxer shorts lowers your sperm count. Yet they're still selling these things left, right, and center. You walk in the Target, that's all they're trying to kind of shove into your face. So I think these are also important. It's amazing, the kind of going full circle is that it's like he always gives us the way back. It's like he'll never push you down a path where you're just in a world of darkness, you have no idea. There's this way to go back. And it's oftentimes, I think, found in our tradition, in our culture, obviously through our faith and everything as well. But I'm looking at what you're doing here. It's like these herbs are growing and these tinctures and this knowledge, it's a way to get back to what it really means to be human. And to be human, it's about having strong, confident men that will protect their family, to have nurturing, loving women that will help raise the children. And obviously there's, I'm very active in raising our kids and changing diapers and everything. So it's not like these strict kind of like patriarchal kind of gender roles. It's like, no, you can still come together, but there are the roles I think that God gave us. And I think it's interesting to look at how on this kind of physiological level, going back to this brings us closer to, I think, how we were designed.
Oh, absolutely. And God, he commanded us to procreate, to be fruitful and to multiply. And the thing is with that, there's actually ways, and I encourage people, this is a whole nother discussion maybe we can have in the future, but essentially there's ways to prepare the body with herbs for both the man and the woman, because you want to have the strongest potential seed and offspring, and you want her to have a pregnancy as smooth and delivery as possible. So there's ways to use herbs and that. So I really encourage people to be more proactive, because what God's giving you the opportunity to do is create a gift that you're bringing into this world. Why not make it the best gift possible, right? We got to first love ourselves so we can love others, right? And the family is the key. I mean, that's the foundation, is the family. Absolutely.
Actually, I have a quick question for you, and you're not a woman, so hopefully you're not offended by this. But how old are you? Because
I'm 52.
You're 52. Okay. Cause you just like, to me, you're the example. If you were on screen and if you had pimples and you weighed 300 pounds, I'd be questioning whether these are actually that beneficial. But when I look at you, it's like, you're a healthy guy. And obviously it's lifestyle, it's diet, it's everything. But I think that you're really an example of how you can be in your 50s and just be at your peak health.
Oh, absolutely. For all of us. So I want to encourage those men that maybe have a little bit of weight to lose or haven't been as motivated. Don't give up hope. Start today. Make that change in your life and start going down the right direction. Just choose life. Choose things with purpose to feed that body what it really needs. And you'd be surprised when you feed the body what it needs over time. It's all 12 cylinders are firing in every direction. You have the sound mind, the body's operating the way you want. You recover a lot faster. You get sound sleep, you have great gut microbiome. And so everything is really just working for you. Yeah.
Incredible.
Definitely.
Actually, I'm curious because, for my situation, I was quite heavy as a kid and I lost weight, but it's always been kind of monkey on my back where, I might have an extra 10, 15 pounds of fat that I just don't like having on my body. I think because I had a lot of metabolic damage from high fructose corn syrup and stuff that, we didn't know was bad as back in the 80s and such. So for someone in my situation, I do work out, probably about 3 times a week. And I work out properly. I'm doing, squats and deadlifts and real kind of heavyweight compounds. So I'm not doing treadmill for an hour, right? What would you say is I guess for a man or a woman, what is the effective combination of these tinctures that really can help accelerate getting into to good shape in combination with a good exercise system?
Sure. Well, I would recommend people to consider gut health, number one, really having a good gut health. And then on that gut health, how do we continue to build good flora so our body can function properly? From there, we want to have cellular hydration. And a lot of people are dehydrated. So I drink at least 160 ounces of water a day. I want my cells to be supple so any of the toxins can flow out of the cells itself. So you want to make sure you're cellular hydrated. Make sure you drink plenty of water, men and women. We both need water. And then if we exercise first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, and you can have a cup of coffee if you want, or tea, but no calories, water, of course, you're going to burn 3 times the amount of fat. So if you can work out on an empty stomach first thing in the morning, you're going to get a 3-to-1 ratio versus if I wait till later at night, it's just going to be a 1-to-1. Well, I want to work smarter, not harder. So I'm motivated to go exercise first thing in the morning because I know what it's going to do. It's going to help shed those extra pounds that I need to shed. And then, of course, I encourage people to eat the proper servings. So many times we've all had a little bit too much on our plate. Well, what is 1 serving of cottage cheese? That's a half a cup. It doesn't say half the container, right? So we have to understand how to have the balance, see the servings, have the proper portions, eat the right foods that are going to fuel our body, and it really will take care of itself. So the body will heal itself. And the thing is, getting into the good gut health itself, once we build that good microbiome, we're going to really operate at a wonderful, optimal level. But a lot of people, unfortunately, millions of people have GI issues, digestive issues, gas, bloating, heartburn, IBS, Crohn's, diverticulosis, cramps. So I've got a wonderful formula called the Digestive Tonic that you can take before meals or after meals or whenever you have that digestive upset to really help you out. This is a wonderful formula. I take it every day, not because I necessarily have issues, but I already have the good microbiome going from having kimchi, and I use Brightcore's product, by the way, and I also eat it. But I have the kimchi. But the other thing that we need for good microbiome is yogurt, and specifically men for your prostate, we need the bacteria from the yogurt for our prostate.
So what kefir? Because we get kefir from the local milk farm. Is that good as well?
Yes, absolutely. That's going to work good as well. So what I use to clean out the bad microbiome is the black walnut tincture.
Okay.
Yep. So you can use the black walnut tincture either individually or if you're doing the prostate cleansing, you can use it in conjunction with that. But we want to get rid of the bad microbiome, okay? And then we want to feed ourselves with the good microbiome. So our gut brain has a connection, and our gut prostate has a connection too. So if we have a bad gut microbiome, that's going to overflow into the prostate itself, and we're going to have bad microbiome in our prostate. So what we want to do with the prostate is get rid of all the bad microbiomes, all the garbage itself, and then we feed the prostate with our dairy type. You mentioned the kefir, the yogurt, the raw cheese, the raw milk. We need that bacteria specifically for our prostate. So I say take the kimchi, the Brightcore kimchi, and also incorporate the dairy, and you're really creating a one big party for your gut and your body. It's just friendly microbiomes celebrating together in your body.
Oh, okay. It's cool that you take Brightcore. We take that too, and obviously I Kim Wright's a good friend of mine, and I have her on, and great product. Actually, so I wanted, because you were talking about you had a surprise for the ladies, right? And I want to make sure that we cover that, because I only have a couple more minutes because I've got Dr. Artist coming on, so he might pop into our Zoom call before we know it. But I want to make sure we hit that. It was the deer velvet, right?
Yes, this is a wonderful formula, again, men or women, but let's go over the benefits, which I do have listed on my website here. So the deer antler velvet itself, women, this is excellent to regulate the hormones within the body. So any hormonal imbalances that you may have, let's say during premenstruum or menopause. Actually, 40% of women worldwide already use deer antler velvet for female type related issues. So this is also going to help with cramps, mood swings, fatigue, and hot flashes. That's one thing. For women, it's also going to improve their physical performance, their muscular strength, their endurance, and their recovery. This also helps women with joint and bone health itself. And then finally, it helps with the sexual health, the fertility. It boosts the sex drive and improves the fertility for women itself, and it's also used as anti-aging too for women. So this is a wonderful formula for women. I would encourage women to get this formula.
Did you know that in the last few centuries, over 500,000 bells have been destroyed? There were literally bell graveyards. Now, the textbooks tell us that this was to use the metal, but if you've ever gone down this rabbit hole, you discover that the sounds that these bells made had amazing healing properties. There are even claims that certain regions with lots of these bells, church bells, etc., were mostly untouched by the bubonic plague. Now, your doctor might call you a conspiracy nut for thinking that, but even modern science recognizing the healing power of sound. So check out this study from the NIH. Doctors used sound therapy on chronic back pain, and they found, quote, significant reductions in pain sensation and pain-related disability. But here's the best part. You don't need some fancy, expensive sound equipment to find relief. So a woman named Linda Bamber Olson created something called the Wave Watch. So this little device has over 1,200 frequencies that you can use for everything from joint pain to brain fog to insomnia. So I've got one and I've been using it for about 6 months. This is it right here. And I can tell you honestly that it works. Like if I'm feeling sickly or have something kind of coming on, it's the first thing that I'll reach for. And honestly, I start feeling better within minutes. And that's literally my firsthand experience with it. Even my little kids love wearing it. And here's how much Linda believes in this watch. So if you get one and you don't notice any improvements, you can send it back for a full refund within 30 days. No questions asked. So do something for yourself and for your family and get a Wave Watch for yourself today. Just go to wavewatch.com/Seth or just use the promo code Seth to save 15% on your purchase. Again, that's wavewatch.com/Seth or you just use promo code Seth to save 15% on your purchase, and those details are in the description below.